Yes, 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 yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear music? You can hear me, but you can't hear music? Well, once again, something weird happens when I attempt to play the music. I guess that is the alignment saying that the music cannot be heard. That's because the music is in each of us. Welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time. Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to expand? Are you ready to elevate? Are you willing to let go? Are you willing to be present and become the gift in this moment? Are you willing, ready, and able to allow yourself to let go and be your true self? Is it okay that we share some information tonight that you may not have realized or thought about before? Is that okay? Is it okay if we become a little spiritual, maybe even a little emotional, and have a bit of fun and celebrate together as one? Is that okay? And is it okay that we talk about some things that you may have never pondered before, that may cause your soul to stir, may agitate what you've known, and allow you to grow? Is that okay? I'd like to welcome all of you from wherever you are, wherever you're coming from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'd like to say that, and as I venture into this space this evening, I'd like you to know that it's taking me a lot to process what has happened. I My highest choice is that you'll allow me to take my time. I'd like to first thank all of you who voted for the second annual Conscious Awards, Forbidden Conscious Awards. for whoever you voted for. And it is our highest choice that you voted for yourself. And those of you who voted for the one they call Dr. B. Sirius, I am forever grateful. Thank you, 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 thank you. I in no way had expected to win. The people in the category that I was in, many of them were my teachers, mentors, friends, and colleagues, or people that I look up to and I honor. When I first heard that I was nominated in the spiritual leaders category of the Forbidden Conscious Awards, I was kind of in shock that I was in the category with those people who I respect so much. So it was quite a shock when I heard my name called. In fact, I thought for a second it was a dream, a daymare. It is very challenging to try to explain the feeling. It's ineffable to know that people all over the world voted. It was a deep moment for the one they call Dr. B. In fact, the moment hasn't stopped. I had been awarded many awards and accolades throughout my life, especially in the world of music: gold records, platinum records, Grammy nominations, Golden Reel Awards, Engineer Awards, Producer Awards. But I never actually went to any of those award ceremonies. Last year, when they had the first annual Conscious Awards, I did go and was nominated in the wellness category. But I'd like to go back a minute and explain to you why this is so personally deep for myself. And I think it's something that a lot of us have been through or go through or are going through, being able to accept acknowledgement. So for the first awards, we had just finished doing God Power 1, Billy Carson and I, along with Brother Rich from Black Magic 363. And we were planning God Power 2. And Brother Rich said, "Hey, Doc, we've got to do this thing, the 7 prayers that we're going to give away when folks sign up for God Power 2. And as soon as he said that, something came over me. And I said, well, I don't think that I should be the one to do the prayers. He says, why not? You know, people would like to hear your prayer, because it was about us giving a prayer that we actually do. And I remember flying to New York to the location to do the prayers, and I felt all this resistance in my body. And when I got to New York, I felt sick. I had a high fever, I had chills, and I started hiccuping. Some of you know this story because I've talked about it before, but I think you'll feel in a minute where I'm going with this. And for those of you who haven't heard it, and those of you who just logged on, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Elevation Time hour or two. As the prayers were happening, as we were asked to come up and do our prayers, I kind of zoned out because I felt sick. My temperature was high. I didn't know who I was. I was beginning to go in and out of consciousness. And I remember standing up and doing my prayer, and I don't remember what came out of my mouth. In fact, when I see it now, if you go look at the 7 sacred prayers, I'm like in a zone, and I don't know why. I did my prayer quickly and I left, and I was supposed to go right back home, and I had to miss my plane because I felt sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I went and stayed at a hotel called the Radio Hotel in Brooklyn. I just told the driver to drive and picked out a hotel and walked in. And as soon as I got in my room, I fell out. I was very sick. I was out of my mind, out of my body. And that night, my fever was so high that I couldn't focus on anything. I remember looking at my phone trying to figure out what it was. I didn't even recognize the telephone. And the last thing I remember was looking at the symbol or the logo on the wall of the hotel, the Radio Hotel in Brooklyn. Some of you may know it. And it has a symbol of a heart and an electrical wave that goes to a microphone. And I remember thinking, wow, this is heart chakra and throat chakra, because the voice is the throat chakra, which has to do with expression, and the heart chakra has to do with love and expressing, the self. And I looked at it and said, this is it. I think I'm not going to make it. I didn't think I was going to live because my fever was too high. I was too sick, and I couldn't stop hiccuping. In fact, the hiccuping now was every breath. Every time I took a breath, I would hiccup. So I couldn't get a full breath. So I was ready to leave the planet in the hotel. This was it. I couldn't call anybody for help because I didn't even know what a phone was. I'd lost my mind, lost everything, and I was done. I woke up the next day. I felt even sicker. I went through the day attempting to just, stay cool. And the entire bed was wet. My floor was wet. I don't know what happened. It was like I was in some strange place. But I stayed there for, I think, on the third day I was able to leave, and I went back home on the plane, and I still had hiccups, but my fever had gone down some. And I went to go see my chiropractor. And he said, what's going on? And I'm hiccuping and hiccuping. And he says, wow, your diaphragm is very swollen. It's inflamed. He says, you're totally out of alignment. Your spine, you're totally out of alignment. What's going on, Dr. B? And I said, I don't know. And if you ever go to a holistic practitioner or a holistic chiropractor, they may not necessarily crack your back and your bones and things unless they have to. So he uses a technique called kinesiology, and he can do muscle testing, and he starts testing to see where this is coming from, what is the root of what I'm going through. And he began to test and test and test. And he said, 15. What happened at 15? Because every time he said the number 15, my muscle would go weak. I said, I can't remember. Nothing happened at 15. He said, yes, something happened at 15. It's strong. You're weak at 15. I think nothing of it. Then he goes on and he starts testing more words, and he's saying words each time he says a word, he tests. And he gets to the word winning and winner. And I go, totally weak. He says, what's going on with you? Do you feel like a winner? I says, I teach winning, and I feel like a winner. He said, well, there's a little question in your mind here, and your muscle is weak. He says, did you go to your high school graduation? I said, I didn't go to it. Did you celebrate it? I says, no, I was in the band, so I didn't celebrate it. I was the band for the celebration. And he starts mentioning all these other things that, I, supposedly had, would normally go and celebrate. And I hadn't celebrated anything. How many of you are like this? You haven't really celebrated anything. And I couldn't even figure out why, because I never looked at it from this perspective before. He said, you got gold and platinum records from music, right? Did you celebrate? No. And he said, well, is there something going on right now about winning? And I said, oh, yeah, I'm up for the wellness, practitioner of the year with Forbidden Knowledge. He says, Forbidden Knowledge? He says, you mean the Conscious Awards? I said, yeah. He says, do you know how big that is? That's the Grammys of holistic health, of wellness. That's the Grammys. There's nothing right now that anyone has ever done bigger or better than that. And you're awarded? You're in the line to be awarded? I was like, well, yeah. He says, you have a problem with that, don't you? Well, I don't know, man. He says, are you going? I says, no, I'm not going. Why aren't you going? And I said, because I'm not going to win. I'm not here to be a winner. I'm here to help people win. I'm here to support other people. Even as a music producer, I was here to support the artist. When I was asked to be an artist many years ago, I was offered a contract. I said no. And many times when it was time for me to be out front, I said no, I'd rather be in the back. Being in the forefront has taken time. I don't want to be too far in the forefront. I just want to just do what I do and just kind of be quiet and push other people. He said, that's a problem. That's what's wrong. He says, you've already won this award, Dr. B. The Wellness Award. If you're in the category, winning is being in the category. You're in the category with some of the heaviest, most important people in wellness. So anyway, as I left his office, I had a strange feeling, and I was driving in my car on the freeway, and I started crying, and I had to pull over. I was super emotional, and it hit me that I didn't feel like a winner. I didn't even feel like I deserved to be a winner. And I remembered 15. At 15 years old, I told my father that I was going to do music for the rest of my life. And I didn't want to be the doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, all the things that he desired for me to be. I didn't want to be that. I was going to do music. And my father lost it. He was really upset with me. And he had all these reasons why what I wanted wasn't what I really needed. I decided to turn away from all that and walk away and do what I love. My passion is music, drumming, just involved in the vibratory energy that helps people help themselves. I buried that. I buried my father's vision of a winner deep in my gut, in my diaphragm. I never even thought about it, but it lived in my gut. It had always been in there. It was in my subconscious mind, which is called the body mind. Sometimes what your parents have told you is buried deep within you. And out of love, for them and respect for them, you still want to try to make them happy some kind of way, even though you don't like it. Now, I was always doing what I liked and what I loved, but buried deep within me was the issue of winning that my father had. So his version of winning was different than mine. So even when I won at many things, I never felt like a winner. I never acted like a winner. I never celebrated winning. When I went to the awards with Billy and Elizabeth, I sat there and I was going through, I was wearing that tight suit, and it was just, I wasn't feeling good throughout the awards. And when they called somebody else's name, I was like, oh my gosh. Because basically I've been to the award. I went to the awards because Billy and Elizabeth was like, you have to come, Dr. P. People love you, since God power and all the things that you've done over the last 30, 40 years, people would like to celebrate you. Go and be celebrated and celebrate yourself. I didn't know how to do that. How many of y'all are like that? You may not even know how to celebrate because the idea of celebration is based on somebody else's validation and what they think and what they want and what they call good and what they call bad. How many of you out there have been through that? So once I realized what this was, I had to start working on it. Once something subconscious becomes conscious, that's when you can work on it. That's when you can go into the shadow self. That's when you can go into the subconscious and begin to balance it. And you can begin to cleanse those mental, physical, spiritual parasites that are holding on to those things, those saboteurs and those energies and those entities within you that might be holding you back, clipping your wings, Something that is holding you and gripping you that you don't even realize is there because you've overcompensated for the pain and the sadness for so long, because there's so many things that you may have done that you haven't forgiven yourself for. You haven't let go. When I was going to school, I got, C's maybe. Most of the time I was failing. They said that I was autistic. That's when they first started talking about that way back. They said I was a dyslexic, special. I remember the teacher telling me that I told my mother that I was unteachable. So it was like failure, 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 failure. You're not going to make it. But drums and music, I was in my own zone. I was in my own zone in music. Music was my spirituality. Music was my savior. I stayed in it. My passion was just to be in that zone. Because there I was all alone and I could drift and fly. I had wings. I had a spaceship. I was in love with the love of the rhythm of the sound. And I loved the feeling of being in with the drums and being a part of the rhythm. But deep inside, there was something else going on. So after those awards, I made it through. I had a breakthrough that, wow, at least I did come to the awards for the first time. Then I got a call this year from Billy, and he said, guess what? You've been nominated for spiritual leader. What are you talking about? And he sent me a flyer with the category. I was like, wait a minute. There's got to be a mistake. How could I be in the category with those people who I respect, people who have been around? Even when I was a child, some of them have been doing what I was just learning to do or just beginning to do. They've been walking in these shoes a long time. They have influences and they're influencers and they have thousands and millions of followers and books and all the things that you need to be in the category. I've been working on my book now for 7 years. Guess I can write it now because I had a breakthrough, so I can finish it. It's almost done, y'all. In fact, after this, I have several books because this is a book itself. So Billy tells me, you have to come. And I say, okay, I'll be there. And then I get there and they ask me to open up. Of course, beforehand, they asked me, could I open the night, play drums, Dr. B, because that's what I love. How many of you were actually saw the awards or were there? If you were there, put I was there. If you were there online, put there online. If you were at the Forbidden Conscious, the second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you were there, put I was there. If you were there online, put that you were there online. I was asked to open and bring my drums. Bring the drums, Dr. B. Not just the little drum, bring the big drums. Because, ever since I was a little child, I was a conga drummer. Conga drums are all about language. It's all about information. They send messages through the forest. It's about a language. And I've been into that since I was a child. So as I'm there, I'm opening the performance or the night with drums. It was beautiful. I was having so much fun. And then as the night went on, the bands, Billy's in the band with, Danny Arcade and, the trap pianist, and they've got all these groups and different artists. Kaz is coming up, you know what I'm saying? Different rappers. And most of them asked me, would I play congas? So I was like, yes, this is fun. This is fun. This is fun. I'm at home there. I'm celebrating the drum because I can celebrate in there. If you were there, you would know how special this night was. The hall was amazing. It was even a better hall than last year I thought you couldn't beat this, but this place that we were in this time was just amazing. The acoustics, the sound, the engineers, the lighting was all top notch. And we've all got to start lifting up our energy and our eyes and start doing things a little more top notch and stop just doing things just to get along. And Billy and Elizabeth Carson, they reached very high. And the whole staff of Forbidden Knowledge, they took it out. It was impeccable. Everything was right on time and beautiful. We didn't have to think of the people who were there, who were nominated, didn't have to think about anything. We were taken care of royalty. And I want to thank the Carsons and Forbidden Knowledge and all the folks from the team for a wonderful, beautiful, magical weekend. The boat cruise, the last time I'd been on a boat on a cruise was when I was in the Bermuda Triangle and had an experience. So when I've got on this cruise, which I normally wouldn't do wearing all white, I never wear all white. I don't like wearing all white because I get stuff on it. When I was a child, I always got dirt and ice cream and all kinds of stuff on all white. I don't wear all white because I don't know how to keep all white clean. Guess what? I wore all white. I broke through a lot of my childhood stuff by going past the envelope, going through, growing out of the program of childhood. And also on the boat, I was having flashbacks to the time that I had when I was in the Bermuda Triangle on the Carnival cruise boat in 1996. And had a download and an upload and a visitation and 4 hours of missing time. I still have the actual watch, y'all. This is the actual watch. This is the actual watch that I had on when I went into the Bermuda Triangle. It is stuck. It is fused at what is this? 1:25, 1:24 in the morning. The watch froze. We'll talk about that. That story will also be in my book that's coming out. I'm just about done. And actually it's going to be published by Forbidden Knowledge. They've got a wonderful publishing program. It's the best I've ever seen. So that we're working on now. We're finishing up. And it's about parasites, mental, physical, spiritual parasites. And even those, what you call alien parasites. Mental parasites are ideas and experiences that are caught in your mindset, in your body, in your subconscious that are eating you alive. Some of them are there you don't even know are there. I didn't know how much of an issue I had with winning and accepting awards and accepting accolades. I didn't know. This is just the last 2 years that this was an issue within me. I can get out and get on the stage and talk to people and help other people succeed. But when it comes to me, I step back. It has been a challenge even to do this Dr. B thing and go public like this. This has been a challenge. I mean, it looks like I make it easy because I make it fun. When I make it fun, I can do it. So when I was on the drums at the awards, it was fun. I never thought that I had a chance of winning. It never hit me that I could win. So when they were calling out the people that were winning, I was clapping. I didn't even vote for myself. I voted for other people in my category. Of course, let me give them the votes. I didn't even vote for myself. How many of you don't even vote for yourself? You don't even know why your button just automatically gets pushed. Why? How? But something happened. Something happened. Hold on, I got something here that I've got to fix really quickly. They're saying that something's going on with the one of the broadcasts here. Let's fix it really quick. Just be patient, please, as I double task. Let's see here. That's not going to work. Give me 1 second. Just breathe, y'all. Breathe for a second. This is an emergency going on within the company. Y'all all right? I've got to take care of this quick business. So forgive me. Just breathe for a second and be patient. We're going to get right back to this situation. Sometimes things pop up and you got to handle it right away. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. They're calling me saying, Dr. B, we have an emergency. You know, things always pop up when you're on a roll. You ever notice that? You're on a roll sometime and something pops up, opposition pops up. We're going to get more into that in just a minute. Oh, let me see how I can do this. All right. Okay, there we go. Thank you for being patient. Multitasking is a thing, and being able to realize what's happening and take your time. The event was amazing. Every day, every moment was amazing. I never thought that it was possible for me to win amongst such giants. And as I was walking backstage, basically getting ready to leave at the end of the night, pack up my instruments, I heard them reading off who was in the category of spiritual leader. And when they said, and the winner is Gabe, Gabe is Elizabeth's son. He's amazing, young genius, amazing guy. And he says, and the winner is Dr. B. I was frozen for a minute. Did they just say Dr. B? Dr. B serious? Are you serious? And somebody grabbed me and said, Dr. B, they need you. They're calling you. You got to go out there. And I was like in shock. I feel tears in my eyes and I'm shaking. And I walk out there and they hand me this award. And I grab the award. And I couldn't believe it. Do you see this? This thing is heavy. They hand me the award, and I'm like, what? I'm just looking at the award with my name on it. Spiritual Leader of the Year, Dr. B. Sirius. And my eyes were just filling with water. And this feeling was shooting through my body. And I could feel my diaphragm almost like I was going to have hiccups again. And I moved through it all. And I walked out on the stage. And I accepted for the first time in my life, an award. Everything changed. And I remember thanking people who have been a part of my life. Just, I would have had a, I would have had a longer list if I had rehearsed this whole thing, but I wasn't ready. And I had to be ready in the moment. And I had to become what I teach. See, a lot of us teach, but we have not become what we teach. A lot of us are teachers. We can teach something. But to be it is another thing. You don't have to be it to teach it. Some people think you have to be it to teach it. No, you don't. You have to have a lesson that people can learn from what you know. So a lot of us who are teachers aren't actually there yet. None of us are 100%. We're on a journey. And I was on a journey alone that I didn't realize I was in. I had a mental parasite. I'm the parasite specialist. I'm the subconscious alignment specialist. I was breaking a spell. And I broke it, and it was broken for me. And when I heard the people clapping and yelling my name, 1,200 people or more, all clapping, some standing. Oh my gosh, that was deep. Everything changed because at that point, the universe was choosing me. It had been choosing me, but I, for the first time, chose myself. The most amazing feeling. If you haven't seen it, or I think if you get our newsletter, if you're on our email list, you can get a copy of the speech, or it's actually on YouTube right now. And from that point on, everything changed. The people that I met who were telling me their stories of how the words of Dr. B helped them, the things that I did or the cleanse changed their lives. People who were very, very sick who did the program, our 28-day cleansing program, lives changed. People who took the classes and the workshops over the many years, over the last 30 years, even longer than that, people were there that actually learned from me because I used to teach at UCLA. I taught a music course. People who were in my courses at UCLA, my music business courses, people who had learned from the music that I created. People had been changed by the vibratory medicine music that I put out. The children who knew some of the things that I'd said, and people were mimicking things that I've said in other ways and putting the stories together in their own way. It was amazing to meet so many beautiful people. I would like to thank all of you that were there, and all of you that were there online, and all of you that were there in spirit, all of you that was there on a soul level, all of you who voted, you voted for Dr. B, you voted for yourself. Anybody you vote for, you always vote for yourself. You always give yourself the voltage. Be the ones that selects and elects yourself first. I've broken a spell. I'm ready now. Where after I was proclaimed by so many people, and and Elizabeth says, she said, Dr. B, you didn't just win. You won by a landslide. I says, what do you mean? She says, I don't think she said it. Somebody else said, you got as many votes as everybody put together. People love you, Dr. B. And I was just so taken with emotion. And they wanted us to go smooge outside with the people and shake hands afterwards. I really only did that for a little bit. I couldn't. It was just so emotional. And even now, I mean, as I feel it, it's just after what I've been through in my life and the things that we've been through, everything from, drugs to attempted suicides and, you know what I'm saying, and self inflicted trauma. The Dr. B story is pretty deep. I don't really talk about myself as much because it's like I'm moving forward, I'm moving in the now, but it's been deep. And after all that I'd been through at this particular point, it all came to a head. Everything changed in a moment. We have got to be ready for everything to change in a moment when we choose ourselves. In that moment, I had to choose myself. Even though other people were choosing me, I hadn't chose myself. I hadn't chosen myself. And at this moment, I chose. I listened for the first time at a deep level. And I said yes. And I remember when the doctors gave me a short time to live in 1989. I think that was the year. And I was really ill for a long time. And that's how I got into natural health and walked away from the medical system because I realized that was the third cause of death is iatrogenics, which is doctor or medicine industry caused illness or disease or death. That is the third leading cause of death. It's called iatrogenesis or iatrogenics. Mistakes. They don't do it on purpose all the time. It's mistakes, mix-ups, wrong diagnosis, a lot of things. And after the Rockefellers took over the medical system back in the 1900s, and it was all about sick care. So I knew what was happening here. And if I listened to the doctors, I wouldn't be here. So I studied natural health, everything about it. And I remember after I got well, as I was getting well, I remember I said a prayer and I asked the universal God, if you can help me with this, I will always help other people. I will teach other people. I don't need to be out front. I'll just help other people, and help other people, help people. And that's what I've been doing. And even when I'm speaking, the only way I can speak publicly, even right now, is because I hear drums. I'm a drummer. It's a rhythm. So when you see Dr. B speaking, it's drums, it's rhythm, it's sound, because that's how I did it. That's how I was able to make it, by living in the drum. That's my art. What's your art? Where's your art? Where's your passion? Bring that. If you're a painter, when you're doing this other thing in life, whatever you have to do, make in your mind the imagination, make believe that you are painting. Or if you're a lover or whatever you are, be in that place all the time. You have to focus on that goal. Don't get rid of your passions. My passion has always been drumming. I am passionate about drumming. And if any of you saw or were at the awards, you would see the amount of passion I have for drums. And that's what got me through. And that's what got me through on Sunday, was the drumming, the playing. I don't work, I play. I love it. After I was selected on Sunday, my entire life changed. The direction that I was going in has changed. I'm ready now. There's no denying now. The people have spoken. You have spoken. The universe has spoken. My parents, my grandparents, my ancestors, our ancestors. It's just not me. It's we. We won. We are winners. How are you not a winner? That one sperm and that one egg attracted each other. Out of all the things that could have happened, you are here right now, online at this particular moment. So when we talk about this particular day, this 888 portal, it's about choosing yourself. This portal, this doorway started, it opened on the 3rd of July. That's when Sirius, the sun, and the earth were in alignment. And those of you who were in the class or in the workshop, you can, or if you haven't, you can go online and look at that on YouTube where I'm talking about that alignment. Well, that alignment doesn't stop from the 3rd to the 9th. The energy of it, the wave of it continues. And the wave goes until 888 or 88 every year. There's a wave of energy that was connected. That was the mother sun, Sirius, sending its waves to our sun, which is its sun, its child. Our sun is the child of Sirius. And that's our sun put out this special wave of energy that drives the heat and the weather until 8/8. And this year, because it's in 2024, it's 8/88. What does 8/88 add up to? Let's do the math. 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 24. 2 plus 4 is what? It's 6. 6 is balance or equilibrium. 6 is in between here and there. 6 is what creates homeostasis. So today's energy is a 6. Today is balance. So we all must reach balance. As Dr. B walked on the stage, I walked on the stage with all of you together. We all walked together. It was not me alone. And I realized that I was supported. And I must reach equilibrium, because when you reach equilibrium, now you're in the state of balance. Today is a state of balance. Today we all win. Everyone listening is a winner. If you're listening to this broadcast, you're only here because you're a winner. So we all celebrate together as one in oneness together. So this is not just a personal win for the one they call Dr. B. This is the one win for all of us. And all those who won at the awards are winning for everyone. There is no me, really. It's all we. And right now, the sun and the energy that's beaming on all of us and the storms that are happening. I heard about the storms on the East Coast that are happening. It's all waking us up. We got to go through a storm of energy, the storm of emotions sometimes, to wake all the way up. And it's that challenge and that struggle and breaking through, breaking out of the egg, breaking out of the cocoon, crawling up out of the water as a nymph and becoming a dragonfly, We've got to break through. Are you ready to break through and break out and get out of our own way? Because a lot of times we're sabotaging ourselves based on what our parents said and based on the lack and limitation and not enoughness that we grew up around and the language of disempowerment that we spoke. I listen to a lot of people speak and they talk about what we don't do. We don't do this and we don't have anybody that does that. It's a lie, because when you say we, you don't even know enough people to really say we. It's just the people that you know. You can't say most people in the world, because you don't know the world. You only know the people in the world that you know. The world is not the earth. The world is your world, your perspective, your point of view. And your point of view, if you don't have the point of view that you're a winner, then you're not. You could say it all day and you could teach other people to win. But what about you? How many people you teach to win? But you don't win. How many businesses are you in that aren't even yours? How many other people's business are you in all the time, trying to help them, trying to push them? But what about you? Are you afraid? Is there something in you that makes you put yourself second and feel second class? I remember grandma used to make food for everybody and she wouldn't eat till everybody ate. In fact, when it was time for her to eat, she wasn't even hungry. But she supplied food for everybody. She took a little bit and made a lot. That's grandmother medicine. How often are you giving away more energy than you're receiving? Giving away more energy than you're taking in? Trying to help everybody, trying to pull everybody with you, learning about some deep stuff and trying to force it down everybody's throat. You got to win your award. You got to award yourself. That don't mean you have to have a huge ego and walk around with your head all up, tripping all the time. Because if you're tripping all the time, you're tripping. You're not even moving forward like you should. You're falling forward. But it's about each of us really doing what we really came here to do. And if you feel like you're there by yourself, you may be on the right road. Because unless you're on the road with people who are on the road to winning, then you shouldn't be on that road. If you're on the road with a bunch of losers, you're going to lose. If you're taking ideas and concepts and you're taking advice from those who may have never won, how are you going to win taking advice from losers? What you should do, see, now I'm going to tell you what you should do. Now you ask them, say, wait a minute, have you done it? You find out a lot of times the person that's shitting all over themselves, right? They're telling you to do something they've never done. They got advice of things that they don't know anything about. Then you end up believing in things that you don't understand because the people that told you didn't understand it. They were lost and turned out. Now you're floating in space and you don't know why, and you're unhappy because you listen to some people who were unhappy, who were not winners. But the thing is that you're supposed to move out of that lane. Move away from those people. At least in your mind. You may not be able to leave mental or physically, but you can leave mentally, emotionally, energetically, and stay in your own space and create a spaceship. Space is the final frontier, to go where no one has gone, alone if you need to. So you look at that road to success. If there's one person on there, maybe you should go with them. You should stay on the road to success with people that are successful. Don't get on the road to success with some losers because they're going to mess up the road for you. You keep listening to them and believing with them, and you voting with them, voting. Your voltage is with them. Or you get on the road to success with people and study with people who are winners. I now accept that I am a winner. And I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all for voting, for sending voltage and energy. That is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. It's like I gave birth to something that's changed. It's been very strange. I was on the airplane. I was looking out of the clouds coming back from Miami, and I just started crying. And every time I started thinking about this deeply, even now, the tears begin to flow because, I'm breaking off the dendrites. The dendrites are the nerve endings that are holding on to the issue that's in your tissue. Because a lot of emotions and things are in your body. They're not in your head. I've been carrying stress most of my life, cortisol. And didn't even know that I was stressed. I was stressed about something I didn't even know I was stressed about because I didn't think about it. Your subconscious it's the same as your conscious mind. I've been carrying a certain amount of stress for the people I couldn't help and wouldn't help or wanted to help and helped a whole lot of folks that didn't even ask me for help, guiding people that really don't even want guidance. And you know what I'm saying? Seeing the possibilities in people that they don't see in themselves and pushing and pushing and pushing. That causes stress within each of us. You must be ready to let that go. Let them go. Let them find their own destiny. Let the dead bury their dead. The average person lives in the realm of hungry ghosts. The average person lives in the realm of hungry ghosts. These are ideas and emotions and things that should be dead and gone, but they haunt you in the moment. How many of you have that? Well, this day, 888, it's about reaching the next phase of spiritual growth and expansion of your consciousness. That's what 888 is about. 8 itself is the theta state. That is the bridge. Eta is theta. Theta is eta, which is H'a. The H is the 8th letter. And if you look at an 8, you'll see that it looks like infinity, but it has 2 round parts where, they come together at a certain point. So one side is building, one side is destroying. One side is expanding, one side is contracting. 888 or 8 is about building or destroying. Some things you got to destroy in your life. Some things you got to let go. Sometimes you got to cut down the tree that's been shading your house. Sometimes you got to cut off the relationships that have been holding you back. The people that don't really push you, people that, they're afraid for you in the name of love and then afraid of in the name of God. We're going to pray, and they all praying for you because they scared, full of fear. Today, you will let them go. Today, let them find their destiny because you've got to go to the forbidden zone. The forbidden zone is the place in yourself where you find balance, where you drive and ride the 8 train. The balance, the bridge. 8. H is a bridge. You ever see look at H? It's a little bridge. It's a bridge over troubled water, a bridge from one place to another, from one dimension to another, from one life to another. Climb over the bridge, the H. That's why in most languages, God is Ah. One of the first European names of God was Ad or Odin. Odin, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna. What's with the AH? The A is the beginning. The H is the bridge to use your breath to breathe into the next phase, to take the breath, to take the step into the next part of your life, the next chapter. If you keep reading the same chapter over and over, how many of you do that? Read the same chapter of your old book over and over. Every time you talk, you're telling the same story, reading the same chapter over and over. In fact, when you meet new people, a lot of times you go and you tell them the same chapter from the same story. And it's been highlighted in so many different colors. And you highlight some of the worst things that have happened in your life and the spells and all the drama and trauma you've been through. And now that person begins to do the same thing. And now you join a book club and y'all you have this trauma bonds and they're best friends. And sometimes you make babies and children and everything based on the trauma bond. Are you ready to let the trauma bonds go and close the old book? Today is the best day to do it because there's an energetic field that's happening in the cosmos. There's an alignment happening in the cosmos. There's a window happening in the cosmos. Because 888 is the end of old cycles, the end of old ways. This happened just in time for Dr. B. Just in time. It's only been, 2 days? When I needed to, I was forced to let go. When you take one step towards your goal takes 10 steps closer to you. They say that in the Bible, don't they? Take one step closer to God, God takes 10 steps closer to you. But see, a lot of people get God mixed up with religion. And to me, most religions are some of the most confusing things I've ever heard. There's some of the stuff, wait a minute. And, we take it personally? Is that what we do? Instead of you realizing that these are analogies and myths and things that you could learn from, they're not actual stories, and don't get all emotionally caught up. These are things that you can use as tools. Tools. Otherwise, you get stuck in the mud. Can't figure out how come your carriage, your carriage, your spirit vehicle gets caught in the mud. Because you keep driving into areas where there's potholes. And you only see potholes. And a lot of times what we do is we talk about the problems. It's the first thing we start talking about is the problems. When a lot of folks, you ask them, what do they desire? They talk about what they don't desire. You can't get into the 888 balance if you keep talking about the past and how bad it was. And you're living from a state of fear. Are you voting because you're afraid of the opponent? I realized at some point my father was my opponent. He was my opponent. He was my sparring partner. And because I was able to battle with him and spar with him, it made me strong. I thought he was against me. Actually, he was with me. He became the energy that I used, the fuel to move forward. I'd like to thank my father. I'd like to thank my mother for nurturing me, for teaching me how to read energy and how to live in an energetic, nurturing state. My mother and father were the perfect parents. No, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have everything. We didn't grow up with silver spoons. I don't even know we had a copper spoon. But they were the perfect balance. And I'm in the middle of the family. 2 olders and 2 youngers. I was the balance. I was the equalizer. 888 is about the equalizer. Finding homeostasis. 8s are showing up everywhere. We just went through 8 o'clock. The time to wake up. Are you ready to do that? You have got to do it. Only you could do it, but you must let go of the ghosts from the past and the subconscious issues and move forward. You may have to change the way you eat, change the way you live, change who you're with in a relationship. Stop tripping on, a lot of people in relationships based on fear. Most people have chosen love that actually is fear. It's like fear wearing love's clothing. You're scared your mate is going to cheat. You're scared they're lying to you. You're scared you're going to lose them. You're scared they're going to leave and not come back. Fear, fear, fear. You call that love. Texting them all the time. Where were you? Take pictures of where you are. Call me on FaceTime when you get there. What did you do? Where did you go? That's fear. And you become inferior. And a lot of people are in relationships because they feel they have to be. They're afraid to get out of it because they made this lie or this oath, and they got this contract, and they're frustrated because they're never really ready to cross the bridge and create homeostasis. I feel like if you're married and you're in a relationship, each year you need to stop and say, hey, wait a minute. How are we doing here? Let's find balance. Are we okay? Let's be honest. Because when you get in a relationship, what? You're on best behavior for like the first 6 months usually or more, or until you've been intimate at least 7 times. Then all of a sudden something happens after 7 times. The things you didn't, that you used to do while you was dating and mating and just, trying to pull off your best, situation, wear your best shoes and your best hairdo and your best cologne. After 7 times, something kicks in. After 7 months, when you get to that 8th month, balance happens, and all of a sudden, the truth comes out. And if you were openly honest and transparent in the beginning, you wouldn't have to try to change up and act all this time. Be natural. Tell the truth in the beginning. But people have told so many lies because a lot of us were born at a time where it was all about misdirection. The last 2,000 years have all been about, manipulation. Has been about misdirection, misrepresentation. The hell that went on for the last 2,000 years was there to test us. That was our sparring partner. Only the best are going to make it. Now, you can take it personal and say, oh, God, I was oppressed. And you keep being oppressed. And people who've been oppressed and keep talking about oppression, they end up being oppressors. They become oppressive and depressive and repressive because they keep pressing the button that says, I'm a victim. We're victims. Look at us. We don't have this. We don't have that. Listen, you better get your ass together right now, because where we're going right now is a brand new place, and you got to redesign yourself. You got to redefine yourself. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to break the spell? Are you ready to get up and speak? Are you ready to accept the award? Are you ready to accept the award that has been given to you every day called breath? Are you accepting that? Are you congratulating yourself for being here right now? And a lot of people are saying, congratulations, Dr. B, but guess what? You're the first one to hear it. You're the first one to congratulate yourself. We're congratulating ourselves. Yes, I thank you for, so much love. I've received so much love lately. I mean, I've always been receiving it, but now it's deep. People are calling me that I haven't talked to in a very long time. Some of the people who were not with me, oh, Dr. B, that stuff doesn't work. And why are you into that? You'll never, blah, blah, blah. All the disbelievers and, you know what I'm saying? They were there. Now they're calling. Now they're thanking me on YouTube and Facebook. His tube and her tube. Thank you. I'd like to thank my teachers. Some of them who said I was unteachable. Thank you. I'd like to thank one teacher in particular who said, that I was a failure and I would never be successful. One of my teachers told me that. I'd like to thank the enemies who've been against Dr. B since the beginning. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank all of you who were agents working on both sides, double agents, triple agents. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the people who have tried to throw dirt and shade and gossip. I'd like to thank those. I'd like to thank those who were afraid for me. I'd like to thank those who did everything they could to misdirect me, to throw sticks in the road. Thank you. All those who never believed, who never had faith, I'd like to thank you, because those people are the fuel. The people who are against you, your enemy is something in you because it's your perspective, your personal point of view that's saying that they're enemies. If you change the language and say they're here to test me and help me create balance and equilibrium, that's what the 8 is about. Creating equilibrium, moving towards your goals, beginning to let go and expand your consciousness and break the spell. That's what 888 is about. It's about breaking the spells. So we don't just thank those who've been with us, who we think love us. Thank those who were against you. Are you ready to do that? Give them a hug when you see some of those people that you think are haters. Tell them thank you when they say they hate you. Thank you when you talk about the way you're eating and they're just upset. Why are you eating that? Where are you getting your protein? So where did the cow get its protein? From grass. Why I got to get everything secondhand? I'm not telling you don't eat cows. I'm just letting you know there's not the cow or the chicken or the pig is not the only thing that's protein. Protein only comes from grass and grains or green things, actually. Leafy things. That's where your protein comes from. Some folks don't change the way they eat because of their family. They go around the family for a celebration and they eat just what they eat, whatever they're eating. And a lot of them, are you ready to break out of that? And do what you really feel, dig deep down in yourself and find balance? This is the time to do it at the 888. This is the time for that phone to ring that's been ringing forever. You finally pick that phone up. This is the time to walk. This is the time to stand up and stop crawling around, waiting for somebody to help you, for somebody to agree with you. You don't even need to be talking to the people that are disagreeing with you. Don't give them any energy. Don't argue with people, because the people that are arguing with you are arguing with themselves. They have disbelief in themselves. They have disbelief in who they are. They don't feel like winners. So why would you hang around with people that are not winners? Why do you listen to people that are not winners, that are losers? You got to find your passion. If it's a drum, you need to play it. Whatever your love is, whatever your true passion is, without what? The other people's opinions. Stop asking other people what they think. Because a lot of people that you ask, they're not even thinking when they talk. Their ego comes online. Their saboteur comes out to meet your saboteur. Everybody's got a built-in saboteur, even Dr. B. Everybody's got a built-in saboteur that's always going to test you and what? May punch you in the mouth a couple times. You got to go through it. You've got to go through that challenge. You've got to go against the grain. You've got to be ready to cut a new path, even if it's only yours. Stop looking and asking for validation from everybody. You cook something, you're really worried about how good it tastes. Does it taste good? Does it taste good? It tastes good to you, then you eat it. Don't ask them nothing. Just give them the plate. Stop trying to look good for other people. Put on all this fake up and makeup and all this stuff for other people. The average person spends money, right, that they don't really have to buy things that they don't really need, to impress people they don't really know. You heard it. The average person buys things that they can't afford, that they really don't need, to impress people they really don't even know. Even your friends you don't know, because they're changing. Everybody's changing. Every 24 hours, you're changing. When you go to sleep, you wake up. I went to sleep twice now, 2 nights in a row. I wake up a winner. I am a winner. I have finally accepted the spiritual leader. And I plan to do my very best to be that. I'm not perfect. And no one is. But if people are willing to listen to the words that come through me, they're not mine. I'm a channel. Things are working through me. I have beings working through me. I just have to be like a DJ and select whether these are beings of good or the beings of the disagreeable. You can select that. It's all coming to you. Everything is tied to its opposite. Everything is tied to its opposite. Good is connected to bad. Up is connected to down. Black is connected to white. They're all there, but it's up to you to lean towards the direction that you desire to go based on your goal. What is your goal? And what are you passionate about? What do you really love? I love music. I got several music projects that I never put out because I was afraid maybe at some point I might win. They may hit, and oh my God, then I got to go on the road. But now I'm ready. The book that I've been holding back on, writing here and there, I'm ready. The new music that's coming out, I'm ready. The folks who desire to do retreats and to go on trips, I'm ready. I'm ready to lead. If you're ready to lead with me, I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for leaders, people who would like to lead with me. If you're ready to lead, then say yes. 888 is about getting your shit together right now. 888 is about crossing 3 bridges. The bridge of the past, the bridge of the present, and the bridge of the future. You have to bring them together in now time and accept the award. Accept the award. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So during the awards, I was really nervous. And it's because I was in a new place. And I was on the stage, and there were thousands of people all over the world watching. And I had to find a zone that was comfortable because I didn't know what to say. You ever feel like that? So I went into my automatic mind, and the frogs popped up in my mind. And I told the frog story. And for those of you who were not there, I'm going to tell the frog story again. Because I think the frog story is very important for each of us. Once there were 3 frogs, and they lived in Froggy Town. And they were happy, joyful frogs. And one day they decided to go for a walk or a hop. And they went out in the woods and they walked away from the village. And they hopped and they hopped. And they hopped into a big hole. The hole was very deep. And they couldn't get out of it because it was too high. And one frog began to proclaim and predict and send out the message of fear. It kept saying, we're going to die. We're going to die. Oh my God, we can't get out of here. We're just going to die. We're going to die. And that's what the frog proclaimed. And that night, that frog died. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. The other frogs kept hopping, trying to get out of the hole, only focusing up ahead. 3 days later, the second frog is tired. And it says, we're going to die. Oh my God, we're not going to make it. No one's ever going to know we're here. We're going to die. We're going to die. The next day, that frog was dead. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. The third frog kept jumping and jumping and jumping. And on the seventh day, it began to rain. And the deep hole that they were in filled up with water. And all that frog had to do was float and be patient. And the water came and filled up the hole. And the frog floated out. It was so easy. And the frog hopped on back to Froggy Town. And when he got to Froggy Town, the other frogs were like, oh my God, how did you get here? We thought you were dead. Yes, we did a memorial for you. That's right. We thought you were a goner. You were a goner. How did you live? How did you get out of that deep hole? And the frog says, huh? Huh? I can't hear you. I cannot hear. I don't listen to opposition. Wow. The third frog did not listen to opposition. It had patience, and it focused on what? Living, making it. And it lived. How many times are you proclaiming how bad things are? Looking at the world based on television and the news and your friends and your friendships, that boat that you're floating on with them, which is a lot of times a raft floating on a swamp that you call friendship. Your words are proclamations. Your words are decrees. They're contracts. Your words are your liberator or your lockdown. Frogs jump from one world to another. They're like interdimensional characters. Their voice is strong. You can hear frogs at night. Some frogs, their sound travels miles. But they've got a special covering over each ear. It's a tympanic diaphragm over each ear. And it's like a drum. It protects the ear from the water, but it also it magnifies sound. So the frog's hearing is very, 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 very powerful. And the frog's voice is very powerful. Half the times you think you're hearing crickets out there, but those deep ones, those are frogs. They make all kinds of sounds. They're very vocal. How vocal are you? But that one frog, it didn't listen to the strong language of the other frogs because they proclaimed death and failure. And the whole represented the victim archetype. You can't get out of here. There's no way. We're going to die. We can't make it. They're going to stop us. Someone's going to stop us. The devil is stopping us. Evil is stopping us. The preacher, the governor, the mayor, the president, the police, the neighbor, my enemies. And people are full of can'ts, cannot, should not, could not, would not. What is that? That's some type of conjunction. It's like something where the junk is all stuck together and you got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Why do you speak like this? Because that's the way we're taught. Words that work in opposites. Either you can or you cannot. Actually, that's even weird. Cannot. Can is an affirmative. Not is like the opposite. If we're going to move forward, we're going to use a different type of language. Only speak of the things that you desire in a way where you don't speak of what you don't desire. If you don't desire to die tonight, then stop talking about dying and death and stop being so afraid of death, because first of all, everybody's going to cross over at some point, and there's no actual death. There's just the transference of energy. It's like you going from grade school to junior high to middle school to whatever, the high school to college. There's different levels, different degrees, different dimensions, but they're not teaching you that. Why? Because if once you teach that, then you will wake up to equilibrium. You will get the 888. You will get the 3 bridges. You will cross into the 3 dimensions of your mind, and you will leave what? The 3rd dimension and move into the 4th and the 5th dimension, which is in your mind, which is another place, which is another space. Are you ready to reach another space? Because space is the place. The space is the final frontier. See, you got to be on a mission, right? To go where no one has gone before. Didn't they say that on Star Trek? Huh? You got to be ready to walk alone sometimes, or find the people that are willing to walk with you. You've got to accept the awards that you have, which is your breath, which is your believing in yourself sometimes. Look up frog. Look up the spiritual meaning of the frog. Somebody told me, they said, "But Dr. B, you didn't tell that story correct." What do you mean I didn't tell the story correct? That's my version, my transliteration of a story. Well, Dr. B, you talked about the rain on the 7th day. The actual story, it didn't rain. Rain had to do with water. We're in a feminine time. The story that I'm telling is about the feminine will help you float. We got to get back into the feminine vibe, and if we're going to make it, and that's what's happening all over the world. You see women coming together like they never came together before. Never mind what they're coming together for. They're coming together. People are beginning to vote together. In oneness, we have to come together. We have to allow the feminine, loving nature of the universe to flow. That's why it's raining. That's why we're having so many storms, because Mother Earth is either going to shake us off or wake us up. What do you want to do? What would you like to go? You got to get into the loving heart. We were up in the mind all the time, trying to control everything, trying to think about everything. That's a male attribute, trying to figure everything out. And when you got a woman that's always trying to figure things out, we got a problem, because she's thinking too much instead of feeling and being nurturing. This is an attribute that was given, that women have accepted today, of trying to figure everything out when nobody's actually figured anything out. Let the men sit around and try to figure stuff out. No man has ever figured anything out for sure. No scientist has figured out anything for sure. They don't know what gravity really is. They don't really know what light really is. Is it a particle? Is it a wave? You know what I'm saying? They're not sure because it's all theories and theorems. And everybody wants to win with their story. My story is the best because I wrote the biggest book. My name is on the school. I got a whole hall named after me. That doesn't mean that they know anything, because the things that you used to know, you don't know anymore, because the world is changing in every second, every minute. The world of Dr. B has changed so much in the last 2 days. I don't even know this world. I laid in my bed the other night and woke up and didn't even realize whose bed I was in. I'm in shock. My life has changed, has shifted. Everything has changed. And it's interesting because just in the last month, all of a sudden, we got a new website. We finally found, the right website design. We got new people working in the company that all just came on in the last 30 days. All these things aligned all of a sudden. The things that for 20 years, Elevation is 21 years old. And we've always run this company based on faith. We don't have a business plan. We don't, all those things they say you need. We've never had them. It's been based on donations. And I want to thank all of you who donate. When you go to elevationtime.com and you donate to us, you're building this thing that's built based on faith. It's based on love. I didn't get into this to start a business. And as I said at the awards, I was just I had herbs out the back of my car until I met this woman, Vashti. And she came along and she said, "Look, we can take this to a whole nother level. Let's work together." And she's the one that actually built Elevation. I had to step down off my male ego because I needed to be in control and let her and the women that she brought online run this thing. I still held on tight because it's a man and the ego. We still want to control things. People said, "Dr. B, I'm so glad you thanked your wife up there." That's not my wife. I'm not married. That is my business partner. We have a special purpose that we are working together along with the other women. And there's a few men, but mostly women that basically are the ones who now are the nurturers. I said this when I did the forbidden, what was it? Forbidden Solutions. Myself, 19 Keys, and Mike Rashid, and Billy Carson. We did this event called Forbidden Solutions. It was about maybe a year ago, maybe a little more than that. But we sat around and talked about solutions. And I remember they asked me, well, what do you think, can we get our economy on board, basically? What do we have to do to fix our economy? And I said, the only way I think we can fix our economy is let the women take over economy. And everybody looked at me, what? Let the women handle economy. Because my grandmother and my mother and my grandmother's mother were all into economy. Women, the older women, were into economy. How can we make the house work? How do we keep it balanced here? How do we create the 8 vibration all the time where we're bridging the gap? How do they take just a little bit of food and feed the whole family? When men are involved in economy, you got the Wall Street and all that kind of stuff, and the money is up and down, and we're losing, and you have dollar bills that ain't even worth a dollar bill, and you got fiat money and all this kind of stuff, and fiat ideas, which means fake. If you let the women handle economy like y'all supposed to, then all of a sudden things would find balance. We wouldn't have cars running on gas, and even worse for some of us, I know I'm not supposed to say it, but electricity. Are you crazy? Who told you that the thing to be ready to move on is what? I want y'all to tell me in the chat. What's the fuel, the best fuel to use? There we go. Hydrogen. It's the most prevalent thing. It's everywhere. You can pull it out the air. They got hydrogen cars right now. They got hydrogen jets, hydrogen planes, hydrogen buses. You don't hear about them. Somebody's trying to sell you electricity, something that's hard to make, that kills fish. You need atomic reactors, and you're sitting on batteries all day. I'm not telling you don't do it. Do your thing. And if you do, don't worry. We got a device at elevationtime.com. It's an energy. It's a defender. What's it called? The 9-5 protect device. It's something you wear that help to balance the radiation around you, so that you're sitting in a radiation box. In fact, we got a bunch of devices that help with radiation because it's everywhere. 5G, 4G. Now they got 6G. Do y'all know about that? But we have these products that are made by this company, ImproveYourLife.us. ImproveYourLife.us really help to change the frequency of all kinds of radiation. They help to balance water, to detoxify your home. They work very good. They've been scientifically proven. They work based on quantum physics. Now, there's a few of them on our website at elevationtime.com, but they're always sold out. They always sell out really fast because folks know that this whole thing with environmental pollution is strong. Environmental pollution is deep. It's taking us out. It's causing all kinds of issues. Those of us who are using that and not deflecting it are going to have problems. Just like those of us who are wearing clothes that are made out of polyester and rayon and these weird fabrics that are basically plastic. Why are we wearing plastic? Oh, it's cheap. It's on sale. That's all I could afford. It's not true. You can afford what you're ready to afford. What are you ready to afford? You should at least be wearing 100% cotton. You want to go up a level, you go to 100% organic cotton. These fabrics give energy to your body. They don't suck electricity from your body like the fabrics, like the polyesters and the rayons and the rayon. They got all kind of stuff now. And don't get caught with the cotton mixed with these natural, unnatural, inorganic plastic products. And then you're wearing plastic hair. You got plastic on your nails. People cooking with Teflon pans. Is this what you're doing? And you're complaining about the world and what the enemy is doing to you? You chose that stuff. You want to take it up to the next level? You go with something like 100% wool. They got wool of all different types. These fabrics give energy to your body. My grandmother had a cabinet called the linen closet. The only thing they slept in was linen. Do you realize that while you're sleeping at night, there are energies that are in your fabrics that you're wearing to bed and on around you that are sucking your life force, and you can't never get enough rest? And they're stealing your life force. That's why people don't live as long as they used to live, because they forgot the grandmother medicine. Linen. Somebody told me the other day, well, Dr. B, linen sheets cost too much. I just got linen sheets on Amazon for $125. The plastic ones was $100. You can't invest the extra $20? Then forget it. Hang up. You don't feel like you're a winner. That's what it is. We don't feel like winners until we actually, somebody proclaims us winners. So your fabric, your clothes have got to change. What you eat, you've got to change. What you're eating, who you're living with, who you're making love with, who you're licking on, who you're kissing on, who you're loving on, who you're with, who you're not with, why, when, where, what you're listening to. A linen closet. Grandmother medicine. What are you washing your clothes in? Are you using these chemicals that leave a residue in your fabric? You got it close to your skin. Whatever's on your skin is in your blood in 17 seconds. The minute you sweat and you're touching your body's touching those fabrics, is sucking that energy in, and it's killing you. And what road you want to get on? What would you like in life? You'd like to be healthy, wealthy, and wise? If you're really, really ready to be wealthy, you're going to need to invest. Are you ready to invest? Some people are scared. They want to keep what they got. Oh my God, if I spend that money, I'm going to be broke. You're already broke in. You might as well invest in yourself. Invest time, effort, and energy. And stop giving away most of your time, effort, and energy. Only give up 10%. I only give up 10%. What I'm giving right now is 10%. I've been giving 10% for the last 30 years. But the 10% that I give is full of energy. Because the 90%, right, that we have to use to work on ourselves and help ourselves and feed ourselves and nurture ourselves is the most important thing, so that when I show up, I can show up. Are you ready to show up? Are you really ready to invest? In yourself? I'm ready. There's some things I wouldn't do that I was when I was a little afraid to do, that I held back on doing. Guess what? I'm doing them. I'm going for it. You want to see something? You're about to see a whole new Dr. B Sirius, because there's a whole bunch I've been holding back. But I broke the shell. I had to do it myself. I had to allow people to help me do it. But I had to be the one standing at the podium by myself, with myself. And I had to grab this award. I had to hold it in my hands. I had to read my name etched in. It's etched inside with a laser. This is no cheap little thing for your mantelpiece. This is made of lead. This is lead crystal. It has an energy field in it. It's a pyramid shape. Billy and Elizabeth, they're on some stuff, because when they gave this out, this is an energy vortex. I can feel it resonating even as I talk to you right now. And it's really interesting because I got two. How did I get two of them? Well, they said that the place messed up and made the first ones too small. So they gave me the smaller one and the bigger one. I won twice. Why? Because I've been leaning towards becoming the winner for a long time. I just didn't step all the way into it. That's my fault. You must be ready to look at yourself and stop blaming the world. You have to be like the frog and be blind, deaf, and dumb to what to whatever energies are blocking you. Is your mommy and daddy still blocking you? You're still trying to make them happy? Some of them ain't even on the planet no more. Are your friends in high school and the people that bullied you, they still blocking you? The things that people said, the authority figures that said things to you that were hurtful because they were hurt people hurt people. You got to remember who you are, and you got to remember what's not like you. That's what they're saying. They not like us. Who's us? First, you got to figure out who us is and realize that you got to divide yourself from the things, the people, and the times and the actions that are not really for you, that you're just doing on automatic because it's been comfortable, but you've been pained to be comfortable. 888 is about getting out of your comfort zone. It's about making a choice now so that you can harvest in just a few months. This is your last chance. You got to learn how to focus. In fact, we got a product here called Focus. I'm going to take a little focus right now. Would y'all like some focus? Hold on, we got it for you. Got a surprise coming up in just a few minutes. What I'm saying is it's time. It's time to let go of your disagreeable past. If something good is in the past, bring it here. The past will never be changeable. You can't fix it. You can only live now. And you have to allow yourself in the moment to break free, to break the spell, to jump out of the hole. Not listen to your past, not listen to the disagreeable and the enemies and all of that stuff and all this opposition and who, oh boy, is evil out there in the world. It's none of your business if you're moving on the road, if you're walking towards that winning place. Losing shouldn't even be in your mindset. Don't accept it. It's not yours unless you take it. You have to wear that shoe. If there's a stone in your shoe, you must pluck that shoe off. Get a new shoe, or at least get the stone out of it. Are you ready to do that? I'm ready to take this thing to the next level. Are you ready? Because there's some things that I finally said that yes to, I'm going to do. For those of you who are ready to ride, let's be riders. Those of you who are ready to rise, let's be risers. Those of you who are ready to elevate, let's start elevating right now. Those of you who are ready to be rich and wealthy, let's do it. I've helped a lot of folks become healthy, wealthy, and wise. I've helped a lot of people. And I'm willing to help more. I'm ready to do more now than I did before. And I'm ready to step forward. I must step forward because I'm asking you to step forward. Let's all step forward together. Is that okay? To allow yourself to be your best self. Huh? Let's see if the music is working. Y'all let me know if you hear any music. I'm going to play music and just see what happens here. Let me know if you hear music. Hear water and wind and the beach. Let me know if you hear that. You hear it? Say yes. I can hear the music. Some people are saying no. They can't hear it yet. No music yet. Yeah, there's something wrong with the music here. It's all right. Each time lately I try to play this music, something happens. But it's an oppositional thing because you've got to move past opposition. You got to break free of opposition. You've got to break free of your opponent. Your opponent is testing you. The disagreeable is testing you to see if you're good enough, if you're strong enough. And if you've given in and you can't make it, that's okay. Then go ahead and get out of the way. That's okay. But remember, you can't drag everybody with you. You have to let them go. Let them find their destiny. You must let them find their destiny. You got to let go of the luggage that you've been carrying, the luggage of labels. The luggage of labels. See, labels, we think that's who we are. People gave us labels. Oh, I'm a this and I'm a that. Some of those labels are holding you back. If the label is holding you back, you got to spring free and let go of the luggage that's heavy. Some of us have a lot of things on our ship, our body, our vehicle. This is a spaceship. What's in the cargo hold? What's in the luggage rack? Is it yours? Is it truly yours? It's 888. It's time to take what? Inventory of what is truly yours today. Take inventory and see what is truly yours. What are you carrying on your vehicle, on your ship? What is holding you back? What is holding you back? How long has it been holding you back? How long are you allowing things to hold you back? You're a spaceship. The feminine energy is about nurturing. We got to be more nurturing and more loving and more caring. 888 is about that, about being more of what you truly desire. Crossing the bridge. And when you cross one bridge, you got to cross that next bridge and that next bridge. Don't cross one bridge and think you did it. Now you're a vegan, you think you made it. Now you read a consciousness book or went to a lecture and learned about some pyramids, and that's not it yet. You got to cross 3 bridges, 888. The last bridge is the one where the first 2 burn down and you can't go back. Because if you cross one bridge, you can always possibly swim back to shore. You can burn the second bridge, you still might be able to swim, but you burn all 3 ships. You got to burn down the ships of the past. When you're ready to let all that stuff go, everything changes. And accept the award. So the award that they gave Dr. B. Sirius, everyone is awarded. I'm offering each of you to become an award and stop being a ward of the state, a ward of the mind. The prison ward, the warden, who's in charge of the ward. How many of you are not only the prisoner, but you're the jail keeper, the guard, you're the prosecutor, you're the judge, you're the jury, and you judge yourself. You want to keep doing that? It's okay. But you've got to learn how to improve your life. And that radiation sometimes is causing you not to be able to let go. We don't even think about that. We just think it's about consciousness. But if you got radiation all around you, it's holding you back. That's why I say go to improveyourlife.us and help get rid of that radiation and begin to radiate and irradiate, right, the energy that you desire. Get rid of those clothes that are made out of unnatural fibers. Let them go. I have had an experience that I still am looking to explain. It's been amazing. This journey on Mother Earth is just amazing. Each day that I woke up since the award, it's like I wake up and I'm like, I forget for a minute. And I remember, wait a minute. I was selected in a very high office, one of the highest offices. If my mother was in the physical, if my father and my grandparents were in the physical, I know they'd be proud. And they're here, they're just not in the physical. I'm proud of myself. I'm glad that I accepted the challenge. And I'm begging and asking for each of you, let's go. Are we ready? Are you ready? So we've got some things coming up really soon that, for everyone to be involved with. So start saving up your energy. Start investing in yourself. This is an amazing time. So congratulations. Congratulations that you've made it to 888. That's the drum. The rhythm that I play is 6/8. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a special rhythm. We've been trained in 4/4, which is a box, which is a prison. We've done really well in the prison. If you're on the farm, you could do really well out on the plantation. You can make soul food, learn how to play basketball and all sports and stuff. You might even, make a little money and get you a little mansion, but you're still on the farm if you're there mentally, physically, and spiritually. So most people today have been sold to be in a prison and agree to a prison. Even most of your music is prison music. Food is prison food, plantation music. Music that doesn't grow. It doesn't even have an intro like it used to. It's no bridge, it's no change, it's no orgasm. It's just 4/4 loops going around and around and people singing and quivering over them. And you've begin to agree that that's great. And we've done well with that. It's okay. Do the best that you can while you're in the prison. You want to break out of prison? That's why we have the elevation, the medicine music at elevationtime.com. How many of y'all have gone and checked out the music? Where is it? Let me see. Do I even have it here? No. Yeah. Here we go. You could do this. Go to elevationtime.com and download the medicine music. There's 4 projects there. There's soon to be 5. We're finishing up the new medicine music collective 3 project. We're finishing it up right now. It'll be out soon. So make sure you're on the email list so you can be alerted to the new music that creates liberation. Because you've got to change it all. Your water, your music, your love life. It's time to switch it up and take it to the next level. And sometimes your mate can hold you back. What you're mating with, what you're sleeping with. How many of your mates will keep you sick or keep you in a low-level vibrational mode because that's where they're at and they don't want you to leave? A lot of times you met on the plantation, so you want to keep the other person on the plantation and you keep wanting to be a sharecropper. Why? Because this is, if the person leaves you, you're going to still be on the farm. Well, leave the farm too. Everybody needs to leave the farm at some point. Otherwise, you just go to the pharmacy because you're going to be sick and you don't see any farm at this place and you start buying these medicines, which are inorganic things that they keep giving you because you're crazy and sick because you're not willing to really help yourself. Now, medicines, right? Chemical medicines, right? And pharmaceuticals are actually good in emergencies. You might need it. You might be in such terrible pain where they've got to do something for you. But relying on the doctor when it comes down to holistic health and maintaining wellness, this is something you got to do. You got to eat in a certain way. You got to walk in a certain way. And a lot of times in relationships hold us back. And a lot of times there are people who are in a relationship, right, where somebody is keeping them sick and from expanding and growing because they're in fear. They don't want you to leave. Sometimes you got to be ready to get to that next level in your relating, in your eating, in how you exercise, how you walk, how you look at the world. That's how you become a winner. So congratulations for you who are ready to change and who have changed. Let's keep changing. Go download the music at elevationtime.com. Download the music. I've got a surprise. We all like surprises, right? For those of you who have supported and been with us for a while, even those of you who are here for the first time, we're going to do something we've never done before. We are offering a 50% off of some of Dr. B's favorite products. This is a sale that lasts only 48 hours. I'm going to show you the products that you can get at elevationtime.com. For exactly 48 hours, they will be 50% off. This is a gift. This is giving back to you. This is a love offering. You have donated, you have been here, you have selected, you have voted. So we at Elevation would like to give back. Here's the list. Fifty percent 50% off. Elevation 48-hour celebration sale. The Elevated Total Body Program. 50% off for 48 hours. The Total Body Paracleanse Program. 50% off for 48 hours. Focus Mental Brain Tonic. I actually called it wrong. Yeah, that's really weird how I wrote it, but it's for focus, to keep your brain focused on your goal. 50% off for 48 hours. Passion Elixir. That keeps you passionate. It keeps you in love mode. It keeps you in the orgasmic space of living the best life you can live. It's not just something that's for love and intimacy. It's about the intimacy of every day and being focused and excited about creating something new. It keeps you passionate and creative. The Passion Elixir, that's one of the top ones. Folks love that. And it also helps your nerves be calm when you're out there dealing with stress and people are trying to talk you down, try to keep you from jumping out of the hole. Passion Elixir keeps you passionate. Iron Essential. You and anyone who does not have enough iron can never have enough courage and enough strength to jump out of the hole, to jump out of their restrictions, dance their way out of the things that are holding them back. You need iron, and there's very little iron in the soil, so there's very little iron in the plants in North America. That's different around the equator. They got lots of iron in the plants, in the soil, but in North America, and in most of the places above the equator, or really far below the equator, right? Most of the iron and the minerals go towards the equator. So if you're really far below the equator or really above the equator, iron is what you need in your diet, or your I should say your nutritional factors, to keep you strong, to keep you where your body can now take that oxygen and use that oxygen. We can't even breathe as deeply as we should if we don't have enough iron. All of these are natural products. These are made from plants and natural essences and essential oils and flower essences and minerals, microminerals, micronutrients that help the body help itself. Heaven on earth, y'all. Some of y'all know about that heaven on earth. That heaven on earth can save you at times because you won't react to things that, might antagonize you, things that are messing with you. Somebody says, well, what's the code? There's no code. You go to the website and look up the product, and it's going to be already 50% off. No code. You don't need a code for this for the first time. Go to the website. You'll see the new website. It's hot. Check out our new logo. We got an amazing Elevation logo. It's magical. It's actually, when you look at it, it changes your mindset, takes you into another dimension. The Elevation Foundation logo on our new website at elevationtime.com. But that heaven on earth, that keeps your nerves calm. No matter what people say, it doesn't play with you. You're calm. You're not sleepy. You've created heaven on earth because a whole lot of folks are living in hell. They don't feel like winners. They don't feel like they could ever win. Once you take heaven on earth, you've actually won. You win because you feel grounded, you feel connected, you feel clear. And no matter what they say, it doesn't mess with you so much because you can't be messed with, because you're no longer full of mess. And when people who are messy begin to talk to you and to haunt you, you just smile. because you're in heaven. Heaven on earth, 50% off, 48 hours. And now let's talk about Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve. Let me explain to you what this is. This is a product that I created for myself. In fact, almost every product that I have, I created for myself or from a close family member or a friend who was in need of a certain thing. As a formulator, that's what I do, is I help folks. I put together products and things to help them get to the next level. I've been very good at helping other people to get to the next level. So I have to create a bubble, a sphere around me to protect my spirit. When you're in the public, like I am, and you're going out in the world, people are putting stuff on you, thought forms, feelings, emotions. They're putting things on you on a spiritual level. They may not even be trying. It's just their mindset and how they think. Some people say, oh my gosh, I really hope you make it. I really hope you win. Somebody told me, they say, oh, Dr. B, I think you're just a great guy. I really hope you win. So then I was backstage and I was on the other side of the curtain and somebody said, he ain't going to win. He think he going to win. Is he banging on these drums? How he going to beat Bruce Lipton? Blah, 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 blah. I heard this. They didn't know I heard it. People sometimes are talking in your face, right? But they smile in your face, but all the time they're laughing in your face. They're backstabbers. Ain't that a song? Backstabbers. And it's okay. That's all right, because I use that as fuel. But the thing that I've been taking for many years is a special product that was not a public product. It's called Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve. It's for spiritual protection. It's off the chain. It's made of all these different tree and plant resins. So it wraps up your spirit. It clears, it fills in the holes, because there's holes in your auric field around you, just from life, just from activity, from food, from clothing. So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I was taking some, and somebody said, what's that stuff you keep taking, Dr. B? And I said, this is something that only I take. They said, well, we want that. What do you take? And I said, well, it takes a long time to make it. You know what I'm saying? It's very expensive. This is not something just this like a cheap knockoff. This, you got to be ready to invest. They said, well, whatever it is, we want it. So I decided to share some of my Master Tonic Reserve with people, and it sold out in it was maybe a month. It was gone, and I could only make so much because it takes a lot of time to make this. There's many steps that we have to go through to create this Master Tonic Reserve, which is why I only made smaller batches, only for me, to protect me from the world. This is what has helped me for many years deal with that stuff that people keep trying to put on you. It's for spiritual, energetic protection. So it just happens that it's back in stock. It's been gone. A lot of folks have been waiting for it to come back. Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve is for spiritual protection. And some of us know we need that now more than ever. You don't even have to take it internally. You could just put it on your wrist. And it just goes into your system and creates this auric field. It creates a force field and keeps all that stuff off of you. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, it don't touch you. So there's a 1/2 ounce bottle. And there is a 2 ounce bottle. How much is the 1/2 ounce bottle? Actually, the 1/2 ounce bottle, that's not the right price, actually, y'all. I'd like to know that I didn't type it in correctly. It's actually half that price. So what's half of 87? What's half of 87? I have to use the calculator because my math is, 87 divided by 2. It's actually 44. Go to the website, elevationtime.com, the Master Tonic Reserve. You go under products or under it may say elixirs or shop or something. You'll find it. Just do a little searching. In fact, there's a little search bar there. You can now search really easily. Then for those of you who would like a big bottle, so you can use it on the family, or you may need to use it a lot, there is a 2 ounce bottle, half price for the next 48 hours. Now, we haven't told the public yet. Those of you who are here, this is for you. Now, tomorrow we're going to send out a newsletter letting, the folks on our newsletter list know about it. There is a limited amount of all of these. So if you're ready, you may want to go there now. Go to elevationtime.com. You may want to write these down. I'll leave them up for a while because there's no discount code. They're already discounted at the website. Dr. B's Master Tonic Reserve is for spiritual protection. There's 2 sizes. Heaven on Earth is to balance and to tonify your nervous system so that you can relax and create heaven in your life. I actually created that product for my mother who was going through MS. And she used to have a whole lot of, nerves. Her nerves would twitch a lot uncontrollably. So that product I created for her, and she named it Heaven on Earth. I just used to call it Nerves. She said, give me some more of that stuff. I said, why do you like it, Mom? She says, because that stuff, it creates heaven on earth. I love it. I used to give her big bottles of it. And then we decided to offer that to people because it's something that a lot of us need during this time. It's a challenging time. We're seeing so many things happen in the environment, in the newspaper. People are agitated. This is an agitating time. The wind, the storms. This is the time as we go through, we're going from one age into another age. It's that is a challenging time. When you're going through change and metamorphosis, let me tell you, that is not an easy thing. For me to break through the spell that I had about winning, about accepting awards, that was no easy thing. It was a storm. In fact, there's a great movie right now called Inside Out. Go watch it. And watch what happens when the emotion comes online. It's a cartoon, by the way. There's an emotion that's all about anxiety. It's called anxiety. And in this movie series, these are all the emotions. The characters are the emotions inside the body. And they have this laid out really good. This is actually a documentary. Look at it as a documentary. And you think about what anxiety is. Anxiety is thinking about something that didn't happen, that could happen, or trying to force things to happen, right? That you need to happen, instead of just being in the zone and allowing yourself to be your best self right now. Because anxiety is all about the future, and the future doesn't come until when? They call it to now, or today, or this moment. When tomorrow comes, they call it today. There is no future. There's only now. Heaven on Earth helps you stay in the now. It's an amazing product. 50% off. Iron Essential. Once again, iron makes you strong. It helps you breathe better. It helps carry oxygen to your cells. Your body can't truly heal unless you have iron, because that's the backbone of every cell, every organ. Iron is also going to keep you strong in the wind of opposition so that you can become a winner instead of letting the wind blow you. Passion Elixir keeps you passionate, keeps you focused on your goals. It keeps you creative. It helps you focus on what you desire, right? But do it out of love. Some people take it because they're great lovers and they'd like to be greater lovers. It does that too because it opens up the heart space. 50% off. Focus Mental Brain Tonic. I keep saying it like that. That's not what it is. Let's read what it says on the bottle. Mental Clarity and Brain Enhancement Tonic. That's what it's supposed to say. Forgive me. Focus Mental Clarity and Brain Enhancement Tonic is what Focus is. I love Focus, y'all. I take Focus every time I got to get out there and use that brain power. Because every time you open up your mouth, you better have a goal. My grandmother told me when I was leaving going to California, she says, son, you got to stay focused. Never leave home without a prayer. Always have a meditation. Always have a goal. That was such a powerful statement. My grandmother was one of my 13 mentors. That one statement, never leave home without a goal. Never leave home without a meditation. Never leave home without your ID, knowing who you are, for yourself, with yourself, by yourself. Focus. 50% off. The Total Body Paracleanse Program. That is our systemic parasite cleanse. And in the parasite program, the 28-day parasite programs, we now have products that help you get rid of spiritual parasites. Now, think about this for a second. Dr. B's Master Tonic helps to protect you from parasites outside, beings outside putting stuff on you. If you're going into crowds, like a lot of folks are going to be at this event this weekend, the gathering of the masters, it's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of energy. If you're going in a mall, you're going in the store, you're going around people, you're going around friends, you know, the Master Tonic Reserve helps to protect your system from other people's stuff. Even if you're on a date and you ain't quite sure, but you want to, you know, be with them, go ahead. Make sure you got your Master Tonic Reserve so you don't get their stuff. We have 2 different sizes. But the Total Body Paracleanse program helps to deal with systemic parasites. Systemic parasites are not the ones that live in the colon and in the digestive tract. You can get rid of those with pumpkin seeds and diatomaceous earth. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that you could use, cloves. Those things are for what you call digestive parasites. What we deal with is systemic parasites. These are superbugs. A lot of them were made through what you call germ warfare. Germ warfare. These are biological weapons that they sprayed on populations, but it got in the water table and it became water vapor and became clouds, and it's all over the planet now. A lot of the diseases that we're seeing right now are biological warfare leftovers. They're in the air, and some of them are biological entities that were created in labs. So the Total Body Program was the first program that we created in 1996 after I had my experience in the Bermuda Triangle, where I was downloaded all this information about mental, physical, spiritual, and cosmic parasites, even aliens. We'll talk about that later in the book. So that program is for systemic parasites, the ones that grew throughout the system, live throughout the system. And it also helps to eradicate, to burn up and vaporize spiritual parasites. All of our cleanses now have the things in it that helps to get rid of spiritual parasites. It doesn't protect you from parasites from the outside coming in. I want to make this clear. That's the Master Tonic Reserve products. There's 2 sizes of that. But the Total Body Program is dealing with systemic parasites that live in your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, all throughout your body. But then there's another classification of parasites. These are considered superbugs. These superbugs are not your average parasite. So you have 3 classifications. The digestive parasites, they've got all kinds of things that you could use that are almost free, that are out there to get rid of your digestive parasites. The next level is the systemic parasites. They live in the organs throughout your body. In order to get rid of them, we have to change the frequency and the resonance of each organ. You have to change the frequency of your blood, because these live deep in the liver, the kidneys, the spleen. Some of you even have them in your eyes. You look up at a white wall or you look at the sky and you see those little squiggly lines floating by and they're navigating themselves. Some of you can feel them in your body crawling and living. That's the next level of parasites. But then there are the superbugs. The most famous and most powerful superbug is called Toxoplasma. Please look it up. It's the mind control parasite. It was made by, some of you are going to say, oh, come on, Doc. All evidence leads towards this being a biological weapon by beings who live off of the earth. Toxoplasma came 6,000 years ago and infected all the domestic cats. It's in the kitty litter, in the cat poop. Then the mice eat it. And when the mice eat it, they forget that they're mice. When rats eat it, they forget they're rats. When birds eat it, they forget they're birds. It causes you to lose your mind and lose your focus. Now it's gotten in the water table. It's gotten in most of our vegetables, even your organic vegetables. It's everywhere. Toxoplasma is now a plague on the planet. It creates fear. Most people live in fear. It makes people feel inferior. It makes people agitated and ready to fight and go to war all the time. That is Toxoplasma. It lives in the amygdala. The amygdala is the organs, actually, there's 2 of them in your brain that actually they help you process emotions. So a lot of times you're afraid of something that really you shouldn't even be afraid of because you don't even understand it. But you're scared of something that somebody talked to you about that you haven't witnessed. This is how the whole political thing, they always want to make you afraid of everything. So you're not voting out of your heart when you're voting out of fear. You're voting out of your kidneys. Your kidneys are what? Stressed out. Your adrenal glands and the cortisol is pumping. So a lot of folks are in fear mode all the time because they believe the news. They believe the hype. They believe that something's going to hurt them. They believe in the devil. The devil's after them. I thought God created everything. God must have created the devil too. So you think that the devil, your devil is what? As strong as God, as most powerful as God? No, devil is just the idea of the opposition so that you could choose what's right. Everything is connected to its opposite. So there's no being called the devil. That's just your own mindset dealing with fear. Now, when so many people have toxoplasma, because they're saying that over 70% of the people or more now have toxoplasma and they live in fear. When they should be happy and joyful, they're afraid. People argue and fight and they're triggered really quickly. Toxoplasma. People do crazy things as people driving down the street, cutting in and out of traffic. That's toxoplasma. Did you know that when there's an accident and the ambulance comes, if the person is like, they had a traumatic brain injury, they put on a special hazmat suit because that person might have toxoplasma. It's just, and the ambulances, they know about toxoplasma that's in the brain material of people who have a traumatic brain injury. They don't want to touch it because if you touch toxoplasma, it gets in your brain. Yeah, it started out in cats. Some people say, well, I don't have cats. You don't need cats. It's moved past the cats and it's in most of the people on the planet. It is like a drone from an alien race that's controlling people's minds to cause us to terraform the planet. In other words, we're killing each other. We're terrified. And we're fighting. We see the worst and we think it's the end of the world when it's actually the beginning of the world. And people are killing themselves. That's why people only live to a certain age, because their whole idea of life is based around fear. Even when you go see the doctor, a lot of times it's fear, 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 fear. Well, you got to take this shot because whatever. You got to take this pill because. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm saying that you need to be careful and be able to think for yourself. But the people that have toxoplasma can't think for themselves because this parasite is in 50, 70% of the people or more. Where's the book? There's a really good book about it. Where did I put it? Here we go. Read this book. Let's change the slide. This is Your Brain on Parasites. It's a really good book. How Tiny Creatures Manipulate Our Behavior and Shape Society. This book is by Kathleen McAuliffe. And there's several of them about these parasites that control people's brains. And they control the world, even the political world and the religious world. A lot of people are religious because of fear. They're religious. Some people choose the way they live based on fear. They're afraid. So you invite fear, the fear vibration, and fear chases you. And you become inferior. But a lot of times it's because of this toxoplasma. So this program, the difference between the Total Body Paracleanse program and the elevated Total Body Paracleanse program is that the elevated deals with things like toxoplasma. It changes the frequency of your blood that causes this disruption in your body's frequency so that it begins to eradicate the toxoplasma or keeps it from communicating with its homies. Because these things never walk alone. They carry their groups. They have the hive mentality. Think about what you're afraid of and what you're mad about and how you can't get rid of your old angers and your old fears and your old mental wounds. And how you keep thinking how bad it is in the world. And you got to do this, burn sage because you want to be protected. You don't need sage or crystals or any of that to be protected. You need to be in a protective state in your mind and see love, happiness, and joy. But if you got toxoplasma, you can't do it. And check this out. I'm gonna hit one more level. We're gonna start winding down. Did you know that there's another parasite called uriplasma? Look it up. Uriplasma. Uriplasma lives in the reproductive organs. Uriplasma is toxoplasma's cousin. It will cause you to mate with somebody and pass on this parasite to other people. You'll meet somebody because toxoplasma causes you to meet other people and either give them toxoplasma or to hang out with other people that have toxoplasma disease or toxoplasmosis. Yes, some of the people you chose in relationships, you want somebody to protect you. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, Dr. B, who's your significant other? This is when I was at the awards. Who's your significant other? I says, what is that? And I never heard it like this. What is a significant other? There's somebody more significant than I am? Whoa, where'd you get that from? The movies? I am significant. There is no other more significant than me. What question are you asking me? If I feel that somebody's more significant than me, then why would they want to be with me if I'm insignificant? So for somebody to be your significant other, that means you're insignificant. This is some bullshit. The language was your lockdown. Where'd you get this from? You need to be whole. Then they said, well, you know what I mean? Your better half. My better half? There's another half that's better than I am? So do they know that my half is not that good? I got a broken half, a piece of a piece. What is this language about my better half and my significant other? I am 100%. I am myself. 100%, especially now, since they've given me this award. I'm better and stronger than I've ever been, and I'm taking a whole lot of people to that place too. Walk with me, but you can't come talking about your better half. You got to become whole. That's what holism is about, looking at everything. Holism isn't just about eating some healthy food. It's about thinking healthy thoughts, walking wealthy walks, feeling wealthy, healthy, and wise, or at least reaching towards those things. It's about growing and expanding and getting rid of your mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. The Elevated Total Body Program will help you get rid of toxoplasma and uriplasma. Uriplasma will make you have sex with somebody that you really should not be mating with. Some of y'all know about it because you wonder why later on. And your gut feeling told you not to do it. But some people's gut is full of parasites too. The friendly bacteria is off. You got a few too many, you know what I'm saying? Unfriendly bacteria because you're not eating enough fiber and you're not eating enough fermented foods. So when your friendly bacteria is not too friendly, right? Then your gut is not friendly. You can't trust your gut feelings. You can't trust your gut feelings because the message that goes from your gut to your brain keeps you in fear, keeps you in anger. You keep worrying about what the enemy's doing, what the others are doing. Instead of, handling your business in your mind, minding your business and business in your mind. That's what time it is, y'all. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to live that life? You got to get rid of these parasites. So the Elevated Total Body Program has 2 products in it that take it to the next level. It has a very special vitamin C tonic, and this vitamin C tonic is not acid like most vitamin C products. It's alkaline. A lot of the vitamin C out here that you're buying may not have the right nutrients to actually do what vitamin C is supposed to do. Because all vitamin C it's a coenzyme. It doesn't make vitamin C. It has the potential to pull vitamin C from your food. This is what most vitamins do. They're actually cofactors. They work with your body to help extract what you need from food. But if you're too toxic, then you have trouble doing it. It's a challenge. So it's about letting totally go of all of it. Detoxing from the rooter to the tutor. The Elevated Total Body Paracleanse program, y'all, is for superbugs. That's the strongest one. If you're dealing with chronic illness and you've been in a sick way, you've been sickly for a long time, I would choose the Elevated Total Body Program and do it for at least 3 months. It comes with a booklet. The booklet tells you how to take it. It tells you what to eat. It's a guide to change your life. Some people say, well, I've done that, but I don't, or I can't afford the big one. So you at least get the total body program, which deals with systemic parasites throughout the body, but not the brain. It can't get into the brain. You can't get herbs into your brain. Most herbs will not touch your brain. There's only a few herbs that actually enter and go past the blood-brain barrier. So you got to change the frequency of the blood. The elevated total body program changes the frequency at such a rate it even begins to deal with the superbugs that have been here for a very long time through germ warfare. The total body paracleanse program is for systemic parasites throughout the body. It just can't deal with the superbugs. All of these products are 50% off for 48 hours. We have never, ever done a sale like this, but we're looking to give back. We're saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And, use this stuff. Take it. Take it. I'm going to find a slide. Let me see if I can find it before I give it to you. There's a slide I'm looking for. And thank you for bearing with us as each one of us become falcons. Do you know about the falcon? Before we go, we'll talk about the falcon story. Okay? Symptoms of parasites: low energy, depression, anger, negative thinking, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, menstrual problems, vaginal infections, sexual dysfunction, over and underweight, drooling while sleeping, itchy ears, nose, anus, and body, grinding the teeth, gas and bloating, chronic fatigue syndrome, pain in the joints, allergies, fatigue, insomnia, food and drug cravings, rash and pimples, things floating by the eyes, epilepsy, liver problems, loss of appetite, always feeling hungry, always feeling like you haven't had enough of anything, unclear vision. And toxoplasma also causes schizophrenia. A lot of you say, oh, I don't have schizophrenia. A lot of people have schizophrenia because they live in fear and they're following things that they don't understand. I'm going to look and give you the definition of schizophrenia before we talk about the falcon. How you spell schizophrenia? Here we go. This is the definition of schizophrenia: a mental disorder characterized by disruptions in the thought process. Do you know how many people have this? That most people have a disruption in their thought process. Most of what you have learned in school is a disruptive thought process. Most of what you learned in the family, even your language, is disruptive and destructive. And you believe it's normal. It's normal to act like we act. A lot of us have either deep or mild schizophrenia. I'm going to keep going. A mental disorder characterized by disruptions in thought processes, perceptions. Did it just say that? How many of y'all have disruptions in your perception? How many of you have perception issues? You perceive things to be one way when that's not even the way it is. Emotional. Listen to this. I got to read the whole sentence. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder characterized by disruptions in thought processes, perceptions, emotional responsiveness, and social interactions. Although the cause of schizophrenia varies among individuals, or the course of check it out. I'm reading. I got to read it clearly. Although the course of schizophrenia varies amongst individuals, schizophrenia is typically persistent and can be both severe and disabling. Did you know that most people are disabled? If you're living in fear and anger and you're always running into opposition, that's an illness. It's a mental disruption in your natural self. One of the things that causes schizophrenia, get the book, is toxoplasma. Whole lot of people are schizophrenic. You think it's just a person on the corner talking to themselves. How often do you talk to yourself? How many often do you talk to yourself out of something good and not listen to your gut? How often do you watch the news and the television and get all scared and worked up? How often does somebody call you and tell you about something who's your friend or your family and you get upset too with no witness? You weren't even there. How often do you walk towards something and move towards something and let somebody or something scare you and get you off your goal? How often? How often do you talk yourself out of something or let the part of you called the saboteur sabotage your goal? How often are you in a relationship and the relationship in your mind is not going the way you think it should go? So you break up and get out of it without any actual proof. Because your girlfriends told you, your friends told you, you can't trust him. You can't trust her. I'm going to tell you why. And this person is usually alone. They got terrible relationship advice and you take it. That's some schizophrenic action. I'm not saying there isn't a deep, hardcore schizophrenia. There are people who have this challenge at a deep level. But the milder versions of it is the everyday person living in the world. They believe in things they don't understand. They listen to rumors. They listen to the news. They believe all this stuff that's actually destroying their lives. And they're always praying for protection. Oh, Dr. B, be safe. It's rough out there. It wasn't rough out there to me. I've been living a life. It's been okay. But you're going to tell me how rough it is. Because it's rough for you because you live in fear. You vote for fear. You vote to be inferior. And you try to put that on me. People do that out of love. A lot of times it's fear wearing love's clothing. It's anger and craziness wearing love's clothing. A lot of people that love you because they're afraid for you. So be careful who you call schizophrenic. And be careful who you call sick and crazy and unbalanced and mean and angry. Be careful what you call the devil. Be careful what you call good and bad, because that's your perception. That's your world. That's not the way the world really is. That's just your perception and the way you see things and the way you see things. And you think that you're all right. Everything is okay for you. How's your world looking out? How's it working out? What do you see in your world? What do you see coming up? Are you creating your goals? Are you moving towards your goals every day? Or you keep stepping back, backsliding on your own ideas, backsliding on other people's words and other people's perceptions, asking for other people's opinions, asking for what other people think about what you need to be doing. When you came here, you were totally unique. That particular sperm and that egg were unique. You were unique. Everybody is totally separate on their own journey. You can find people that were ready to walk that road with you, but you better be careful, because you may be walking the road to hell, and they're going to hell because they believe in hell. They believe in hell on earth. You better walk the road with people that are creating heaven on earth. Are you ready to create heaven on earth? Then you better do it right now, because there's only time like right now. There's been never a time like now. Now is the only time. You're at the 888. It's time to build, destroy. Let things go. 3 times. You do it 3 times. Once you build and destroy. Get rid of some of that trash talk in your own head and that gossip in your head. Get rid of some of that food that you got in your head. Get rid of your parasites in your mind. You got to live the 888 vibration. Don't just talk about the 888 vibration. We done got so deep, we just keep talking about all these deep things. And there's an alignment happening. There's an alignment. Oh, we're in retrograde. The hell with retrograde. Retrograde is your own mind thinking backwards, crawling back to the old world. Because you're comfortable. A lot of people are comfortable being what? In hell. They're comfortable in hell. Let them stay. Let them find their hell. You got to what? Go to the forbidden zone in yourself where you find the truth in yourself. The book title, this is Your Brain on Parasites. How Tiny Creatures Manipulate Our Behavior and Shape Society, by Kathleen McAuliffe. This is Your Brain on Parasites. I don't sell the book. It's not mine. I guess, you just need to go get it if you feel it. Now ask yourself a question. How many of you are falcons or eagles or owls? See, owls are all about wiseness. Dick Gregory, when he comes to me as an owl. When I hear owls, I listen and close my eyes and breathe, and a message pops up from Baba Dick Gregory. Eagles are all about climbing high. Eagles are all about knowing exactly what to love and what not to love. Eagles are very loving beings. They feed their babies really well. They don't hang out with other birds. But one of the most mysterious birds in the world is the raven. I mean, the falcon. They fly higher than any other bird. That's the bird that you see on a lot of the Egyptian or the Kemetic headdress. There's usually a cobra and a falcon. And there's falcons all over what you call the ancient world. They have symbols of the falcon because the falcon flies higher than any other thing. They go from the highest mountaintop to the next mountaintop. They can see their prey 5-10 miles away. They zero in on what it is they truly desire. The falcon is the only animal that can fly above a storm. And there's hurricanes and winds right now going on right now, hitting all coasts. The falcon flies right above it. The falcon flies above lightning. Did you know that? They fly so high, they're up at the edge of the ionosphere where there's almost little oxygen. And they very seldom flap their wings. They're like, a lot of these jets are built based around or the mimicking or modeling of a falcon. So imagine a falcon who loses its mind. I need you to listen very carefully. Imagine a falcon who loses its mind and it lands in a city on the street and it starts hanging out with pigeons, pecking around on the street for the things that man leaves: popcorn, pieces of bread, trash, because that's what the city pigeon eats. The falcon is now on the ground, and after many years of living with pigeons, it thinks it's a pigeon. It eats with the pigeon. It talks with the pigeons. And the pigeons are wondering why the falcon is here, because normally the pigeons are afraid of falcons because if they get caught, the pigeon will eat them. But they keep asking, who is the falcon? You hear the pigeons, who is he? Why isn't Mr. Falcon here? Who? And here the falcon doesn't even make too much sound. It's like this. He's now mimicking the pigeons. Because this falcon grew up, hangs out, and gets hung up on the ground with the pigeon. How many of you are pigeons? How many of you are falcons? How many of you who were born falcons, eagles, and owls grew up in a family of pigeons? You played on the playground with pigeons. You were taught in school by pigeons who are afraid of everything. They just peck around. Because a pigeon is also a dove now. But the white dove ain't hanging around in the streets waiting for trash. How many of y'all hanging around waiting for trash? Waiting for somebody to save you, looking for a handout, waiting for trash. Waiting for somebody to give you an idea and pull you up, waiting for trash. Waiting for a lover to come along and save you, waiting for trash. There's nothing wrong with the pigeon. But if you're a falcon, an eagle, or an owl, or any other high-flying bird, you never hang out with pigeons. Pigeons don't hang out with owls, eagles, and falcons. They don't have the ability to. Are you ready to raise your eyesight? Focus on a new goal. Are you ready to go the highest? You're talking about the high vibration? Spread your wings and stop listening to pigeon language. Pigeon Latin. Is there such thing as pigeon Latin? Don't put the pigeons down. They're here for a reason. They're supposed to clean up the garbage and the trash. It's all right. Don't put them down. But it's none of your business what the pigeons got going on. When you hear that sound, ooh, ooh, you need to fly. And move towards your true goal. Fly. Spread your wings. Only look towards what it is you desire. Go from mountaintop to mountaintop. You will fall. You're going to slip sometimes and find yourself down with the pigeons. But you need to shake it up. Shake your mind. Shake it off. Did you know that there's parasites? That pigeons have parasites like crazy? And most of the animals that walk around on the ground have parasites, but they know how to do something to cleanse themselves. Otherwise, they couldn't survive. Falcon doesn't have parasites. It flies too fast. It only eats when it needs to eat. It sleeps in the air while it's flying. It's only focused on goals so nothing can catch it. So tonight, as you lay yourself down, let's go to the world of falcons together. I'm asking each one of you, please come with us. It's elevation time. The door is open. This is it. If they gave Dr. B the award, which they did, which is right here. So heavy. And I even have another award that they gave me. Look at the, it's inside, it has a laser pyramid. How'd they do that? I am so grateful. I'm grateful to each of you who voted and those of you who didn't. I'm still grateful. Those of you who are listening, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfections. Say it. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfections. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfections. Don't make it their imperfections. Say imperfections, because none of us are perfect. We all go through the pigeon world sometimes. We go down low. We all have experienced heaven on earth, but also hell on earth. But we must keep focusing towards the heaven, the high peaks, and let the low peaks go. Are you ready? Are you ready to gift yourself? So for 21 years, Elevation has been here. And it took 3 sets of 7 for us to get to this place where now we're renewed. New website, new products, new mindset, renewed. I am grateful. I am joyful. I am willing to step into the next mode. I would like folks to go with me. If you'd like to go, let's go. Get on board. Get on board the mothership. Get into your heart. Get back into the feminine vibration of forgiveness. One of the most powerful vibrations you can have is forgiveness. Forgive them, for they know not what they do and who they are. They have no idea who they're talking to and who they're dealing with. So don't show up and allow yourself to be taken by those who are takers. Nobody can take your soul. You can't even sell it. You can only give up your spiritual vibration. Sometimes it's just for the money, just for friendship, just for love. Or sometimes you'll give it up for family. And you'll miss your calling for family. You'll miss your calling for friends. You'll miss your calling for your lovers. As of today, 888. The calling is yours. Are you ready to allow yourself to get on board the love train? Are you ready to let go of the past? Then you're in the right place. It's elevation time. I'm grateful and thankful for this award. And I am accepting the charge of being the spiritual leader of 2024. Some of you will be in Atlanta this weekend for the gathering of the masters. I will be opening the program at 1 o'clock, from 1 till about 3. I'll be live on stage playing music, opening the program, and doing a subconscious alignment and a talk about flying, spreading our wings. We all have them. So those of you who are coming, congratulations. I hear it's going to be online too. Congratulations. And those of you who are waking up today into now, congratulations. Give yourself permission to congratulate yourself for yourself. Let's all give yourselves a round of applause right now. Come on, clap. Woo! Celebrate. Celebrate. Vibrate yourselves. Celebrate. Vibrate yourselves. Deep within yourself, there's a self that's waiting to be born. There's a child on the swings that you left alone a long time ago. That's the deep original you. That's the child within you. And that child experience is still waiting on you to rise and to move past your fears and all of the things within you that have been holding you back. It's time to fly. Within you, there's all the things that you need. Within you, it's built into the cells. It's built into the system. So you have to move past your DNA, move past your ID. Let the old self go. It is time to raise up, walk up, get your mind right, let go. Stop talking about the things that you don't desire. Let them go. Let them find their own destiny. Walk away from issues. Get on the ship and become the captain and the CEO of that ship and move towards a destination, even though you may have storms and even though there may be sharks chasing the boat. And out there on that place, there's all kinds of opposition on the ocean of life. But guess what? You got to get up. You got to get on up. You got to get up and move towards what you desire. You got to move towards yourself with fire. You got to step into the fire and the light and become the light. And don't wait for the light to shine on you. Become the light shining within you. And without you, there is no light. You are the light. You are the enlightened one. Without reading a book, without doing anything but being yourself, you become a powerful person, a lightsaber, a traveler, a star being. You are the mothership. It is in all of us. So let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's wise up. Rise up. Elevate your mind. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for being here at this time, having this experience together. I'm grateful to you all. Make sure you're on the email list because we've got some things coming up now that we've been holding back on. Or I, the old me, he, yeah, let's get it right. He is gone. He's out the house. He's out. He's put out. The eviction has happened. Are you ready to evict the part of you that's just been sitting on the couch, eating your food, eating your energy? We're going to show you how to evict that part of yourself and elect the part of yourself who is the winner. Congratulations to all of you. We are all winners. We are all one. I'll see you soon. Travel light. Let go of the luggage. Most of it is not yours. So throw it out. Do the inventory and do the outventory by sending it out, letting it go. You are all falcons. Fly, 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 fly. Allow yourself to fly. Thank you very much.